Hello, hello. Look at the lovely, amazing day that we have. I'm really tired because I took my grandson up a mountain today. We climbed up a mountain to a sacred shrine, and then we climbed down again, and it's been non-stop chatter, chatter, chatter. And so the physical activity and having to be focused on everything he's saying, I'm worn out. And I've come home to all these beautiful plants, beautiful roses that are going crazy. And I'm remembering why I garden, why I like to plant things, because we get all of this. And actually, or just around here yesterday, I started to tidy up because it's getting quite overgrown, as you can see. I often don't like to take down the clover because to me it represents abundance. And so it feels like shooting myself in the foot. But it does have to be trimmed down now because, like I say, it's getting messy. But thinking about all these plants and coming back to them with fresh eyes, even though I was only gone for a day, um, makes me remember why I'm growing them. I remember what they're all for. And that makes me think of Rosemary in particular. So I'm going to bring you round to Rosemary and just have a chat about Rosemary for remembrance, for reconnection, for rejuvenation, for restoration. I love it when we get a title with lots of alliteration. So come on, we'll pop round to the Rosemary. Jazz and rock. Here we go. So rosemary is one of my favorite herbs. It's a Mediterranean herb. Some people say the Romans brought it to the British Isles, but I've also heard that it didn't actually arrive here until the 14th century. So who knows? The point is we have it now and it grows really well here by the sea. And I've got my other herbs here as well, all very beneficial. So it's worth remembering to use them, because often you just forget that they're here. So I'm going out to harvesting all the herbs tomorrow for the culinary, for the kitchen, all the kitchen herbs. But what I want to talk to you today about is rosemary. And it is such a beautiful, fragrant herb. You can hardly see it actually because this buddleia is gone. Just amazing growth. It smells so clean when you just brush against it. It smells clean and wholesome, makes you feel safe, but it also kind of gets the saliva going because it's such a wonderful culinary herb. It really is tasty and appetizing and enhances your meals. But the reason it makes you feel so hungry when you smell it is because it is such a brilliant digestive herb. It's a carminative. That means it's going to help with flatulence. It's also antispasmodic. So if you've got any tension in the digestive system, any kind of knotting up of the stomach, it's going to help everything relax and everything flowing. It's also a massively antioxidant herb. So some people say it's great for anti-aging because of that. But because it's an antioxidant and antiseptic, any trouble in the gut is going to be healed and cleansed. It's also good for the respiratory system because of those qualities. So it's great as an expectorant. It thins phlegm. It helps open the airways. So whether you have a cough or a cold or asthma, rosemary is going to be really beneficial. The other wonderful thing about rosemary is that it's an amazing nervine as well. So again, when we're coming back to it being a digestive herb, things are never just in a box or a compartment. So some people who might have a nervous tummy or they might be suffering with their nerves and so the digestion is affected, this is where rosemary comes into her own because she's so beneficial in those two areas. So she's a nervine, she helps you to relax, she helps you to feel, like I say, the smell is just so comforting and wholesome that it's going to make you feel comforted and safe. But apart from that, I've got another little one here, and I've got more rosemary in the polytunnel. But they're it's also a circulatory herb, which means it's going to improve the circulatory system. So it's cleansing the lymph and it's also boosting and rejuvenating to the cardiovascular system. So it's very beneficial for the heart and it's very beneficial for the brain because rosemary will push up the blood, fresh oxygenated blood into the head. So it's going to help with baldness. It's going to help with memory. All those tiny capillaries get opened up by this breath of fresh air coming from the rosemary. And even modern science now is acknowledging, and they've been doing research into the smell of rosemary and rosemary taken into the body for Alzheimer's and other dementia issues. But I already know, as from being a student, that rosemary can really help with memory, with clarity and focus. So I always used to take rosemary to exams with me because a little sniff, or I'd have the oil, the essential oil on the desk. I could put a little few drops onto my hand, and it would help me stay calm and focused, so I could remember, all the knowledge I'd learned over the year before I did the exams. Oh, just can't get enough of it. But I'd just like to really emphasize something else about rosemary, and that is the metaphysical aspect of this beautiful, beautiful plant. When I talk about memory, rosemary can help us to remember who we are, where we've come from, um, what our role is, because, we're so distracted by everything in this bright, shiny world. There's so many things to be doing. We never have time to sit and relax. But if you can just sit and relax with a little bunch of rosemary, even if you just buy a pot from the supermarket and just sit somewhere quiet with it and stroke it and release that amazing volatile oil, and set an intention that you want to remember who you are. You want to reconnect with your ancestors. You want to remember why you came here, what your role is. And, lots of people might feel lost because they just don't know what they're supposed to be doing. And we get so much pressure from school and education and adults and people telling us what we should do, what we should be. And we just don't have time to remember who we really are. I think also rosemary is a wonderful ally if you're trying to reconnect with spirit on some level, whether it's the spirit of nature, the spirit of plants. Um, rosemary is the one to go to. She really is an amazing plant. I'm going to harvest some of this lovely rosemary now. And I think it'll be a good idea to put some of this under the pillow. Lots of people will say mugwort is the plant to dream with because it will help you with lucid dreaming and recalling your dreams and putting those dreams into, bringing back whatever you learned from those dreams back into this, waking time. But I think rosemary is another good plant to dream with because of that improved remembrance and reconnection and rejuvenation. So you can rejuvenate your connection to your ancestors and to your deep soul self, who you really are. And obviously, it makes an amazing medicine. So I do have some tinctured already. I have some dried for use in the kitchen, but I think these little ones now, I'm going to use them for a spiritual dreaming experience. So it's another way of saying as well that even though mugwort is a wonderful plant to dream with, we can think outside the box. We can remember the clarity, focus, remembrance and reconnection and rejuvenation that rosemary brings to us. Oh, I just love it. So I hope you found that helpful. The different uses. Obviously, it's brilliant as a culinary herb, but it's also very medicinal for all the reasons I mentioned. But it's also going to really benefit your soul, your spirit, by helping you to reconnect with those ancestors or some spiritual being that can give you guidance. You can set an intention, dream with the rosemary, put it into a dream pillow, put it under your pillow, and remember it's wonderful for anti-aging and very high in antioxidants. Okay, I think that's enough for a little dream pillow. And let me know if you think it's, I just can't stop smelling it. Let me know if you're going to use it yourself and how you get on. And I'll see you next week. Bye. I hope you enjoyed today's film. If you did, subscribe and hit the bell for notifications. And have a look at the website, danusirishherbgarden.com, for more information about us and about the herbal medicine courses I offer and the Wise Woman Way training. And if you go to the shop, you can find the books, the weed handbooks, and other herbal goodies. And remember, we put a new film out every Sunday. So looking forward to seeing you next week.